Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk about the supplements and foods you can use to optimize your sleep based on scientific research. So let's get into it. The first supplement we're going to talk about is melatonin, also known as the darkness hormone. And the reason that is because when it gets dark in your environment, the body naturally starts producing melatonin. And melatonin in your body will basically signal to your body, hey, it is time to go to sleep. And therefore, it will sort of prepare your body to fall asleep. And it will make it easier for you to fall asleep when you want to go to sleep. However, in our modern day, after sunset, we still use a lot of screens. We have bright lights on in our homes, and therefore our natural production of melatonin is often decreased because we're exposed to so much light, even right before we want to go to bed. And of course, this can really disrupt our sleep. So studies on melatonin supplementation have shown that, hey, if we supplement melatonin and we sort of correct that decrease in melatonin that we're having in our modern day, we see an improvement in sleep quality. And here in this study that you see on screen, it was a study on elderly people, so aged 55 and older. And when they took melatonin, they saw a significant improvement in sleep quality and morning alertness. Now, melatonin can especially be a helpful supplement for elderly people because when you get older, your natural melatonin production and sort of the cycles in melatonin, they get worse. So supplementation can be extra helpful when you get older. And in this particular study, they used 2 milligrams of prolonged release melatonin, which is a special sort of melatonin supplement that slowly releases in your system over time after you take it, instead of it being released in your system all at once. But there are definitely a lot of anecdotes and also other research that show that even lower dosages of melatonin will be beneficial for improving your sleep quality. In fact, it is thought that your brain would naturally produce only 0.3 milligrams of melatonin, so definitely a lot lower than 2 milligrams. So, next one on the list is saffron. And saffron is a spice, and in supplement form, saffron has been mainly used to treat or to help with symptoms of depression and anxiety. Now, as you can imagine, if you're feeling depressed or if you're having anxiety, this can definitely also disrupt your sleep. So it could be that the studies that show an improvement in sleep quality, that those people were actually also maybe suffering a little bit from depressive symptoms or having some anxiety, and because those parts of the life improved, they also saw an improvement in sleep. Now here we see one study on saffron and its effects on sleep quality. It is a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial. These are the highest quality of research out there, so that's definitely a good sign. And here in this study, they found that saffron intake was associated with improvements in sleep quality in adults with self-reported sleep complaints. So these people were already suffering from some type of insomnia, and when they took saffron, it really helped them improve their sleep. In this study, they took 14 milligrams twice daily, and if you are a person that is having some sleep issues and you might also have some depressive symptoms, or maybe you're suffering from anxiety, this is definitely an interesting supplement to look into. The next supplement that can really help with your sleep is ashwagandha. Now, ashwagandha is often used to reduce stress because what it does is it reduces the hormone cortisol. And cortisol is often described as the stress hormone because it's a hormone that is often elevated when you are feeling stressed out or when you're in sort of the fight or flight situation, and you're really alert and on edge. And ashwagandha can thus help you cope with the stress better. And as you can imagine, of course, when you're stressed out, this definitely influences your sleep. And as we can see here, in another double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical study, taking ashwagandha had significant improvement in sleep quality, and it was also beneficial in reducing stress and anxiety. So if you are suffering from a lot of stress in your life and you think this is impacting your sleep, ashwagandha can be specifically very helpful in that situation. So it's an interesting supplement to consider if you are dealing with stress and you want to improve your sleep. The next one on the list is L-theanine, and as the name suggests, L-theanine is found in tea, and it's often used in supplement form to induce a feeling of calmness, not just at night but also during the day. But as you can imagine, feeling calm, feeling at peace is really something that will help you fall asleep at night, because if you're still very energetic and excited, this is gonna make it more difficult for you to fall asleep. So in this study, they were using 200 milligrams a day of L-theanine. It's also a randomized controlled trial, so a high quality study. And they found it can improve sleep latency, as you can read in a part of the description here. And sleep latency just refers to how long it will take you to fall asleep once you are in your bed. So supplementing L-theanine can make you fall asleep quicker. And that makes sense, of course, if you think that it can induce a calm state. And the final supplement on the list for today is glycine. And glycine is also a supplement that has been shown to be able to induce a feeling of calmness. It calms down the body. But an additional interesting fact about glycine is that many people report having very vivid dreams after supplementing glycine. Now here is a study where they looked at the effects of glycine on sleep quality, and people taking glycine, they felt a lot better after waking up, less fatigue, more clear-headedness, more liveliness, which all suggests that, their sleep quality definitely improved. And in this particular study, they used 3 grams, and in other studies that I've seen on glycine, this is also a common dose. Now, the great thing about glycine is that glycine tastes very sweet, almost like sugar. So what you can do is make yourself a great cup of herbal tea and put a little bit of glycine in there. And that's just a great combo before going to bed. I've used it many times before, and I've personally found it had wonderful effects on my sleep. Now that concludes the supplement part. Let's look at some foods that might be able to improve your sleep. So the first food is the kiwi fruit, and an interesting study on kiwi fruit showed that eating 2 kiwis before bed had an incredible effect on sleep. So this study showed that people were able to fall asleep 35% faster, sleep 13% longer, and improve their sleep quality by 5%. So of course this is only one study, so the evidence is not really great, but kiwis are delicious and very nutritious, and the results are extremely impressive. So this is definitely worth experimenting with. The next food on the list is pineapple. And in this interesting study, they were looking at urinary markers that kind of show how much melatonin is in the body. And this study, they found that when eating pineapple, this marker increased by 266%. So that suggests that there's a really large increase in melatonin due to eating pineapple. So instead of using a melatonin supplement, you could consider just eating some pineapple after dinner as a dessert. And the final one on the list are tart cherries, and in this study in particular they were using tart cherry juice, I believe around 250 milliliters, so that will be a decent sized glass. A small can is usually around 300 milliliters of tart cherry juice, and people that were taking this on a daily basis saw an increased melatonin production and also increased sleep time and sleep quality. So again, an interesting result, and we see that the 3 foods that are really researched when it comes to sleep are all fruits. So you could consider a fruit dessert that contains some cherries, some kiwi, and some pineapple, and it might really benefit your sleep quality. So I hope that was interesting and helpful to some of you. If it was, consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel. Feel free to leave a comment if you ever used one of these supplements, whether they worked for you or not, or if you think I missed something. And also just let me know what sort of videos you'd like to see from me. Any sort of comment helps me grow, helps the algorithm. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.